Baby Drill is one of the craziest rappers coming out of Atlanta. Coming out of Zone 6 with ties to 21 Savage and Young Nudy, he's slowly cementing himself in the scene with major hits such as Done Saying, Slight Dub, and a host of others. However, his rap career was almost ended when he was involved in an now infamous case that almost had him facing life in prison for allegedly ending the life of another up-and-coming rapper. On top of being accused for several other high-profile incidents, such as the attack that ended Lil Marlo and possibly being behind the attack that took out Hardbody Daffy, it's safe to say that Baby Drill's rise throughout the city has been super controversial and a backstory that apparently involves people getting murked, man. We gotta talk about the rise of Baby Drill and the infamous situations that went down that made him famous throughout the city of Atlanta, man. We're gonna get into it right now. But before we do, I'm gonna need you to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna run up this video, man. Make sure y'all check out the merch link in the description at staysafeworld.com. You already know what's going on, man. Let's tap in. So Baby Drill's rise of fame fits hand in hand with an infamous Atlanta murder that gave him one of the biggest claims to fame that he really got in his career. Being known as the shooter of 4L, which is a group that comprises of 21 Savage and Young Nudy from the Paradise East type area of East Atlanta in Zone 6, he had little options but to, get money and rap or try not to crash out. He was consistently dropping, but then had a major roadblock in his career when he was arrested for murder last year. Police zeroed in on an incident that occurred in Midtown in April of 2022 when Grady Scott was found wounded by gunfire and succumbed to his injuries, and he was later arrested for that same murder. The situation that he was arrested for in 2022 is one that's shrouded with mystery, and they still haven't actually found the real suspect behind it because there was not enough evidence to hold him, even though Baby Drill even raps about it, saying he had a $150,000 bond just to get out of this situation. But basically, a passenger in a Range Rover was killed Friday morning, April 8th, 2022 in the Midtown area of Atlanta, popular for nightlife. The 28-year-old victim was discovered after an off-duty Atlanta police officer heard gunshots in the area of 12th Street and Crescent Avenue and went to investigate, according to Channel 2 Action News. He was identified by Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office as Grady Scott. Scott was found dead inside the SUV around 2 a.m. Investigators are working to determine what led to the shooting, which took place outside of several bars and nightclubs. The driver of the Range Rover was taken in for questioning. Police Lieutenant Ralph Woolard told Channel 2 from the scene, "We can put out at this time we do not think the entire incident took place inside the vehicle. We do have an individual who's on scene who's cooperating with the investigation that we have taken back to headquarters to speak to at this time." And there was not really any leads for a couple months until Baby Drill was basically arrested for that murder. The police didn't really give a lot of information or make the evidence that basically tied him together super public, but we do know that he was arrested for murder, possession of a firearm or knife during commission of an attempt to commit murder, and certain felonies. I think basically people were saying that the gun that he had some type of connection when he got caught with a gun, had some type of connection with the actual shooting, but since then he was actually able to bond out and is currently free on that and was able to beat that murder charge, which is honestly crazy. But that's not even the craziest thing that he's actually suspected of. One of the craziest things that I feel like I seen about this was the murder of Hardbody Daffy, a member of Goodfella Mob, which is basically a group that is clicked up with PFK, which, if you don't know, the same group that Lil Marlo was from, and they have an ongoing beef with 4L PDE, which is 21 Savage, Young Nudy, and Baby Drill. And in that situation, Hardbody Daffy actually was gunned down just a couple years ago. And after he was gunned down, Baby Drill basically dropped a diss saying he really be shooting people as Daffy, man, which is crazy.
Shit was sweet, shot his ass Daffy.
It was so bad that even Atlanta reporters like George Chitty actually assumed that he had something to do with it. I mean, because someone else that he was associated, I guess, was charged with that murder. So it was a whole kind of confusing situation. But at one point, they were saying that the police believed that he had something to do about it. And on top of the fact that he's dropping a diss just a couple months after bro got murked is definitely not good. And people were saying that the diss could have happened, before the whole situation and it was unreleased. It's not like he released the actual song. but it's pretty damning evidence to drop a song that says someone got hit up and then the dude actually passes away, you know? That's just like crashing out, sort of, but the dude is hella young. One of the biggest situations that basically came out was the murder of Lil Marlo. And Lil Marlo was basically a PFK head top person, and he was really close with Lil Baby, basically Lil Baby's best friend growing up. And he was basically gunned down also on the fucking 285 in Atlanta, really in the middle of nighttime while driving on a major highway. And that whole situation, people definitely have tied to Baby Drill. I mean, I made a whole video on it, so I'm not really going to discuss it in detail. You can just check out my video that says, you know, why people think that Lil Marlo was gunned down by Baby Drill. Basically because PFK was beefing with 4L, and people were saying that Lil Marlo was putting money on people's heads, you know, on 21 Savage, Young Nudie and stuff like that, going crazy, just dropping mad money on people's heads, getting people whacked, and then they had to take him out. That's what people were saying. But we don't know if that's necessarily true because there's no real evidence that ties him to anything. This is all just speculation that people have. He's innocent until proven guilty. Maybe it's just all misunderstanding and he didn't really do any of this. Bro's music is super fire at the end of the day, so I don't want to see him locked up or anything like that. I'm just saying what people, the narratives that are basically going on the internet, man. So after that Lil Marlo situation, it was really like a thing that people saw in the song Dunstain with Young Nudie, where he basically said he caught the biggest op when he was 18, and that was around the same time that Lil Marlo got, you know, ended, basically on that fateful night on a highway in 2020. And people basically try to connect Baby Drill to that whole situation also. And this just kind of shows that, like, a lot of rappers, I feel like in general, like, they diss their ops, and maybe their ops get merged, but they're not really the people that could be going out and doing this, you know? It takes a lot of work to be in the studio. It takes a lot of work to make fire songs, you know? You're probably in the studio all the time. You'd have to be some type of John Wick contact killer to really be doing that type of stuff. And I wouldn't say that they don't do it, you know? Like, people be real. Like, there's such thing as non-cap rap, which I honestly believe could be true, especially when it comes to 4L and those dudes like that. But at the end of the day, there's no evidence that really points to them actually doing these crimes besides like songs where they basically, you know, allude to it. And a lot of people feel that the songs itself are enough to really say that these people did this, which, you know, could be hyperbole. It could be just them rapping and someone else did it and it was just their op. So then they're just like trying to make it like a movie, you know, they're trying to like live some type of character. We could give them the benefit of the doubt and say that. But at the end of the day, it's probably not the smartest thing that if you're going to rap about that type of stuff, you can't rap about specific situations like the Hardbody Daffy shit. You can't really rap about him getting killed and stuff and then expect when he gets, you know, the police find this, that the police aren't listening to the lyrics also. If we can look up the lyrics and look up certain songs or look up things on the internet, the police can easily do this. And, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But obviously there's an unsolved murder problem in Atlanta because a lot of these high profile murders basically go unsolved. So it's not like the Atlanta PD is really working that hard, you know. At the end of the day, it's probably not even enough to really convict anyone regardless. And it's just going to keep going, ongoing, man. Which is crazy. That's some real like contact killer shit. That's like really like hitmen going around murking people type shit and getting away with it. It's really like a war in Atlanta going on, but it's cooled down. I just hope the best for these artists. I hope they don't get caught up in these situations. Just listening to their lyrics though, it sounds like they be, you know, prepared for that type of shit. Bulletproof cars, everything like that, man. But hey, let me know in the comments what y'all think about this whole situation, man. Real say shit. You already know what's going on, man. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. You already know. Join notification gang so when I post, y'all tapped in. Check out the merch too. Help support the channel. You already know what's going on, man. Peace.